Hey guys, welcome back.
Hello again.
Before we get into it real fast, just support. We're gonna list our social media just in case you guys are relatively new. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, YouTube. Am I missing anything?
We have a website.
We have a website.
We haven't had very many visitors to that website recently.
No.
Get on that, guys. It's fun. It's just a collection of everything. So that actually has all of our social medias on it as well.
Yeah, and you can find the episodes there too if you're interested in listening to us just through that. It's available. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, rate, review, please, and thank you.
Yes. And that's it. So, you is up first.
Okay, so my sources. I've gotten so good about my sources.
I'm really proud of you. Yeah, because I've gotten really bad at reminding you. So every time it's like the next episode, I'm like, did I remind her last time? I'm like, fuck
you didn't need to because I remembered.
Good for you.
All right, so my sources are Wikipedia, Olympic.org, History.com, and SmithsonianMag.com. So today we're talking about the 1904 Olympics.
Oh, okay.
So, the 1904 Summer Olympics were just, like, kind of off to a real shitty start from the get-go. Okay. The games were held in St. Louis.
Okay.
Due to the cost of travel, and there was, like, tension caused by the Russo-Japan War, which I didn't really look that far into. I didn't really care.
That's
fine. Most of the athletes were from the U.S. and Canada.
Oh, okay.
Out of 651 athletes, only 62 of them were from outside North America.
Oh.
And only 12 to 15 nations were represented.
How many are usually represented?
More than that.
Thank you.
I'm not sure. How many countries are there?
I don't know.
Writing it down.
Yeah, write it down. I also feel like the Olympics come around every fucking year. And, like, I'm waiting for somebody to prove to me otherwise. Because you can tell me that, like, no, it's every 4 years. Like, no, it's not. We get the fucking Olympics.
Just because, like, you and I don't care.
I feel like it's every year. Every year I'm thinking, I'm hearing about this again? It's coming back again?
Yeah, so 1904 was a little bit weird because there was, like, this big uproar because the bid was originally for Chicago to hold the Olympics, but St. Louis wanted to hold them because they were also hosting the World's Fair that year. And the World's Fair that year
was danger zone.
It was like the centennial of the Louisiana Purchase, so it was like a big deal.
It's also, I'm pretty sure, where fucking H.H. Holmes found, like, a lot of victims.
Of 1904?
I'm pretty sure it was 1904.
Well, that's a weird happenstance. We will not be discussing that.
He was doing that, like, he was operating in that area, so, like, with the influx of people coming in for the Chicago World's Fair, he found...
This one wasn't in Chicago. It wound up being in St. Louis.
The World's Fair did?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind, I lied.
Yeah.
Just ignore everything
St. Louis wanted to host both of them the same year.
Oh, greedy motherfuckers.
Which is very, very greedy, yeah. So, it was, like, a big year for introductions in the games. This was the first year that they used the gold, silver, bronze reward system that we still use today. It was also the year that they introduced boxing, freestyle wrestling, the decathlon, and dumbbells. So it was, like, a pretty intense, exciting year.
So how did they, like, determine the, like, if you didn't have, like, silver, bronze, gold... What did you get before
I don't know how they determined things before that.
Oh, it was just like, well,
first, second, third.
You participated.
Yeah, like, good job, buddy.
Congrats, you got this far.
So due to the, like, insane disparity in American competitors, the U.S. took home 239 medals. This still holds the world record for most medals awarded to one country in one.
Well, I mean, it's because we were basically the only ones participating.
Yeah,
so.
Pretty much. There was, like, a lot of contention around this because, like, that's absurd. And, even there were, like, cries of outrage because some of the competitors were immigrants and not fully citizens of America yet. So those countries were like, yo, that should be ours. As recent as 2012, Norway was still contesting the nationality of a couple of competitors in the 1904 Olympics.
Let it go, Norway.
It's a little bit weird, yeah. So basically, like, these games were a hot fucking mess.
You think?
They took place over the course of several months due to the World's Fair competitions going at the same time. So, like, the World's Fair, I guess at this time, we don't have them anymore, but they would also host competitions. So, like, the two got, like, so intermingled that there was confusion when everything was said and done as to what competition belonged to which
Holy shit.
fair, essentially.
You know what would have solved that problem?
A list?
That, but, like, if they just let Chicago have it, like, Jesus Christ.
Yep. One boxer was disqualified because he entered the competition under a different name and won. So he was, like, posing as somebody else.
Okay.
There was a tug-of-war competition, which included 6 teams, 1 from South Africa, 1 from Greece, and then 4 from the U.S.
I could probably participate in that.
I feel like I probably could, too. It's probably the only Olympic thing I'd be good at.
It's mostly just because, like, you're letting your other teammates
Yeah, like, I'm
shit.
shouldering
I'm
a
like,
little
yeah,
bit
I'm
of the
doing
weight.
it. I'm pulling.
The South African and Greek teams were eliminated in the first round, leaving only U.S. participants.
Oh. That doesn't seem fair, but...
No.
Okay.
So they had this really bizarre and definitely not at all politically correct event. It was called
Lord.
Anthropology Days. It was a 2-day event in which, and all of this is in quotes, guys, because I'm not a horrible person, uncivilized tribes were brought in from the human zoo being hosted at the World's Fair. And these people which included marginalized groups from Patagonians, Pygmies, and Sioux, just to name a couple, were encouraged to try their hand at Olympic sporting events like long jump, archery, and javelin. But in case you're worried, like, wow, that's really rude, there were also, like, specialized events for these quote-unquote uncivilized peoples, such as the pole climb and mud throwing.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No. Due to the absolute lack of instruction or practice or training in any of these events, they performed quite poorly. Are you shocked?
Where was this, St. Louis?
Yeah.
Fuck those people.
I know.
I will never go there.
Yeah. Well, so, like, obviously this was not met well. Like...
You mean a human zoo wasn't met well?
People were like, dude, this is really demeaning and racist. Even in 1904, people were like, bro, you can't do this.
Jesus.
So that was the only year that Olympics held Anthropology Days.
Oh my god.
But, like, I know you're wondering, what about the ladies?
Oh yeah.
What were we allowed to do?
Probably nothing.
Well, no, you're wrong, for we had one whole competition allowed to the ladies.
Was it fucking sewing?
No, but that'd be amazing. Women were given their own archery competition in the 1904 Olympics. A total of 6 women competed, 5 of which were part of Ohio Cincinnati's Archers Club.
Okay.
It wasn't even a fucking competition.
It was just like, it was a competition for the club.
Yeah.
They were just like, look, guys, we'll get a lot of exposures.
Yeah, like...
It's fine.
The winner was a 45-year-old woman named Lita Howell, and she took home the gold medal. Some women did also throw their metaphorical hat, so to speak, into the ring for wrestling, but this was largely seen as a joke, and no medals were awarded to any women. Yeah.
Awful.
But the thing that, like, really sets the 1904 Olympics apart was the absolute shit show of a marathon. This is the most absurd thing you'll ever hear in your life.
Oh, lay it on me. Here
Okay, so, some runners were experienced, but most of them were not. A couple of, like, notable names, which you're not going to recognize, but you'll hear later in the story, are Sam Mellor, A.L. Newton, John Lorden, Michael Spring, and Thomas Hicks. Enter newcomer Fred Loers, who had a daytime job of bricklaying and did all of his training for the marathon at night. Then we have 10 Greeks who had never run a marathon before. 2 men from the Suwana tribe of South Africa in St. Louis as part of the World's Fair arrived at the starting line barefoot. 1 Cuban gentleman named Felix Carbajal, who raised funds to come to run by running across Cuba. And he arrived in New Orleans, lost all of his money on his first night in New Orleans in a dice game, and then had to hitchhike to St. Louis.
should have ran. He could have prepared.
Made a couple more bucks. He showed up to the starting line in a white long sleeve shirt, black slacks, a beret, and like a pair of like just regular old shoes.
Follow-up question.
Sure.
Was there an entry fee?
I don't think so.
So you could literally just compete if you wanted to.
I think, like, you probably had to be registered. Like, it said that he had to raise money.
Okay.
So, like, I don't know if that was for his trip to America or to, like, his buy-in for the race.
Okay.
But I'm assuming that you had to be, like, invited to run no matter what. Like, you can't just show up the day of and be like, hey, guys, I'm running today.
It's like, I got off work early. I just decided that I'd be a part of this.
Yeah. Like, the one guy... Fred Lors, who was the bricklayer and did most of his training at night, he had to qualify in like a special race.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if maybe it was like the same thing for everybody.
It just seems like a very strange collection of people that
very,
just like
odd,
ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time.
All like, hey, what's everybody lining up for?
Okay, I'll get in this line too.
Yeah. Someone was kind enough to take some scissors and cut sweet little Felix's pants into shorts for him at the starting line.
Oh my god.
It was super hot that day, like ungodly hot, and like really poor running conditions. The air is like super fucking humid. It's like 90 degrees.
Literally every condition is poor running conditions
I know.
to me. It's like sunny, it's a nice 60-degree weather, there's no humidity. I'm like, ugh.
Running.
No, bad day.
Ugh.
Bad day for that.
Can't start today. Pretty quickly, William Garcia from California collapsed on the side of the road and was taken to the hospital where he nearly died of hemorrhaging.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, basically dust had started to coat the inside of his esophagus and tore a lining in his stomach.
Great.
So he just started hemorrhaging.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. John Lorden suffered some serious coughing, began vomiting, and dropped out. Len Tao, one of the men from South Africa, was chased a mile off course by a pack of wild dogs.
Okay. Okay.
Felix was, like, he was actually doing pretty good. This is our guy from Cuba.
I mean, now he's got fucking handmade
he's
shorts.
got less competition, yeah. He was just kind of, like, doing his thing. He was, like, talking to some spectators on the road. There was even, like, this bit about how he, like, somebody was driving and had peaches, and he asked them for a peach, and they said no, and he stole a couple and was, like, eating them as he ran. Later on, he, like, stopped at an orchard and grabbed a couple of apples.
What kind of fucking race is this? That you have time to fucking...
It's so weird.
Browse an orchard. You're like, I'm gonna grab some peaches from a stranger, and then I'm gonna...
He's really, like, he shows up, like, probably hungover from his trip in New Orleans, wearing long pants. He's just like, hey, can I have a peach? Like,
yeah. No, I'm gonna take it anyway. Okay,
so
thanks.
he proceeds to, like, eat these apples, and they turned out to be kind of rotten, so he started getting really bad stomach cramps. So he just kind of, like, pulled over to the side of the road and took a little nap ski.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Sam Mellor, who was in the lead at this point, was also getting some, like, pretty severe stomach cramps because, like, you're running. He slowed down to a walk to start to, like, ease the pain and then eventually just kind of stopped.
Okay.
Okay. Lors, our bricklayer friend, got cramps too, but he did not stop. Instead, he got in a cab.
I applaud that man. He was like, you know what? I'm not going to walk or run the rest of the way. I'm going to get a cab.
Hicks was, like, pretty severely dehydrated once we hit, like, the 9-mile mark and begged his handlers for some water. They declined. There was, like, this whole bit about how they were, like trying to see the effects of, like, forced dehydration on the body during this. So, like, not only is it a marathon, but it's also a science experiment. So, they refused his request for water, instead feeding him a concoction of strychnine and egg whites.
That seems legit.
Uh-huh. So, I guess back in these days, in small doses, they would use strychnine as a stimulant.
Okay.
Yeah. So he kind of like got back up on his feet and proceeded to run.
He was like, I'm feeling great.
Yeah, I'm solid, bruh.
That egg white really did it for me.
And I know you're wondering what happened to our friend in the cab, right?
Oh, yeah.
So across town, Lore's feeling so much better, hops out of his cab when it breaks down and finishes off the race. He comes in first, probably because you fucking drove, is declared the winner with a time of just under 3 hours. So obviously somebody is like, bruh, this dude, did you not just see him get out of a cab like a mile down the road? Are you kidding me?
They're like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
So he is like, guys, I was never going to accept the win. It was just a joke.
He was like, ha ha. Oh, man.
So they take his win away from him. At this point, Hicks is like, he's really not feeling good. Like, he's ashy. He can barely stand up straight. He's like limp. So his handlers gave him another dose of strychnine and egg whites, and this time let him wash him down with some brandy. The perfect combination on a 90-degree day.
Sounds delicious.
I just, like, thinking about, like, how nauseous I would be from running 20 miles to, like, and then you're
having
adding
to
brandy on top of it.
having
and
to suck down an egg white.
I don't know what strychnine tastes like, but it's got to be better than egg whites and brandy on a 90-degree day.
I'm just thinking about the texture of a raw egg white.
Gross.
It's like
Gross.
fucking slurping up a jellyfish.
So he's now like in the lead for winning. He's within a mile of the finish line. So he's like coming in and he starts hallucinating.
Okay.
And he's like, his handlers are practically holding him up at this point. He is like, we have to stop. I cannot go out on any further. I gotta turn around. I made a wrong turn. Like, he's hallucinating. He's out of his goddamn mind. He's poisoned. He's drunk. It's a really bad fucking time for
Everything
him.
that you can be, you are.
He is.
You're having food poisoning from the eggs. You're losing it.
He like walks up the last hill because I forgot to mention that this is a very hilly course.
Of course it is.
So he walks up the last hill and then kind of does that like half jog down the other side. You know, the one where you're like, I can't keep my feet under me.
Yeah.
Entering the stadium barely on his feet. He's declared the winner despite the fact that his trainers are literally carrying him over the finish line at this point. Yeah, that's the 1904 Olympics,
Holy
where, like,
shit.
everybody dropped out, everybody almost died. It was a bad fucking time. Him and Lors would actually meet again the following year at the Boston Marathon, and Lors would win without the help of a vehicle.
He's like, all it took was that first time. I just needed to be driven. Now I know how to do this.
I think it's just so funny that these Olympics were such a shit show.
I mean, the first Olympics were performed naked, so... you know.
Yeah.
They can't get much worse than that.
I don't know, man. Did they feed them strychnine?
I don't know. They were naked. Could you imagine fucking
my God.
doing sports naked?
No. Can't imagine doing sports.
And then add in nakedness. I'm good. At least if you're running in the heat naked, it's not going to be like, you know, you're as cool as it's going to get, really.
Yeah. Stimulants were declared illegal during competition shortly after that.
No
So
strychnine?
no more strychnine.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
What a fucking disappointment. Well, that was, I wonder what other Olympics are like a fucking nightmare.
Shit show? Yeah. So, from what I was reading, the ones before that, the 1900 ones, were also pretty bad.
I believe that.
Yeah.
When did they split them into the summer and the winter Olympics?
I don't know.
Because I think they used to be one game.
Yeah. So, the 1904 ones are, like, the second longest Olympic event in history. They lasted from, like, I think it was, like, July to September. So it went on for a good, like, 2-3 months. The 1908 ones were from, like, April to November.
Jesus.
They were so scattered.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
They contain everything that I don't like.
Yeah, same. I'm not interested in them.
sports
But
competition.
I'm interested in people who do bad.
Yes.
Which they did.
That shit I like. Alrighty, cool.
We'll be right back.
Sure.
All right, and we're back. And Brookie, what do you got?
All right, we got a good one, which was inspired by something I overheard in a conversation recently.
Okay.
So
not creepy.
And it's a local tale, by the way. So my sources are Wikipedia, Encyclopedia Britannica, and NewJersey.com. I'm gonna tell you a story first.
Yes.
This one hits like especially hard for me because it's so fucking close to where I live.
Ooh.
Like, really fucking close.
Okay.
Okay. So, summer 1916. Polio and heat waves are spreading across the United States. All anyone wanted was some, like, nice peace and quiet vacation time to kind of, like, get away from the tragedies of the world. So what better place than to take that vacation at the good old Jersey Shore?
Right.
So, we begin our story on a presumably beautiful summer day on July 1st in Beach Haven, New Jersey.
Okay.
Native Philadelphian Charles Epting Van Sant was enjoying some time with family at the Ingleside Hotel. I know it as the Ingleside Inn because this is exactly where I go on the beach. Just before joining his family for dinner, he decided to take a quick leisurely dip in the ocean with a random dog that he had been playing with on the beach. Mere moments after getting into the water, he was fucking screaming. A shark was tearing into him, biting through his legs. Alexander Ott, which was a lifeguard, and Sheridan Taylor, who I named as a good Samaritan in this scenario, pulled him from the water, claiming that the shark basically followed him to the shore.
Holy shit.
Upon inspection, they noted that Charles's left leg had literally no flesh left to it. He was brought back to the Ingleside Hotel, where at 6:45 p.m. he succumbed to his wounds. He was only 23 years old.
Dang.
This would be the first death in the 12-day-long stretch of time known as the New Jersey Shore Shark Attacks of 1916. So I overheard that dude behind us at Longwood Gardens talking about this. Little fucking bitch, he knew nothing. This freaked me out because I knew that these happened, but I didn't know that they started where I go on the beach.
Yeah.
Like, I go on at Ingleside Ave.
Yeah.
I park in that hotel's parking lot. Like, that's insane to me that this dude died in the lobby of that hotel. And I knew nothing about it. And there's also nothing posted there that says, like, hey, this is where that began. There's literally nothing in that neighborhood about that, which I find insane.
Mm-hmm. And this is also the string of attacks that inspired Jaws, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So in the beginning, all the beaches remained open. It was widely and stupidly believed that humans were too big for sharks to attack.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So when Charles was attacked, there was debate as to whether it was even a shark that did it. People thought it was something like a sea turtle, which somehow had like a pretty big reputation for being a dick.
Okay.
They thought that sea turtles were like super fucking aggressive, like
Okey
just
dokey.
attack people. It was also believed that whatever had bit Van Sant originally meant to attack the dog, but like somehow came in contact with him instead.
Okay.
So everything kind of went on business as usual. You know, it was a tragedy.
The freak accident.
It sucked, but like no one was panicking. Mm-hmm. So on July 6th in Spring Lake, the shark would claim its next victim, which was 27-year-old Charles Brutter. When he was attacked, he had been swimming about 390 feet from the shore, which I feel like is very far.
Yeah, me too.
But like also my perception of like feet is off. I always feel like I think that's a very long distance. But then like I read some stories where they're like, well, they were 100 feet off the shore, and I was like, I feel like that's a lot, but it's not.
That is.
You're almost 400 feet.
That's way more
offshore.
than I'm comfortable being.
I'm not comfortable if I can't touch.
Yeah,
I've
same.
talked about this.
Same.
Like, so the fact that he was out there by himself is fucking terrifying. Like, what are you doing out there?
Right?
So he was bit in the stomach and his legs were eaten. Like, completely eaten.
Just like.
Yeah. The water was so bloody that a woman on the shore notified the lifeguards on duty, Chris Anderson and George White, and said that she thought a red boat had capsized and was, like, basically floating on the surface of the water.
Wow.
So they rowed out there, found a very mutilated Brutter. they instantly knew he had been bitten by a shark.
Yeah.
So they brought him onto their boat, but he died on the way back to shore.
Oh, no.
So now people are starting to panic.
Yeah.
They're starting to freak out about this.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck? This has never occurred before around here. Why all of a sudden are there shark attacks? So they were scared, but not enough to close the beaches.
Okay.
It was just enough that people were a little bit more cautious about, like, going into the ocean.
Sure.
They kind of...
Like, maybe out a little farther.
Yeah,
like,
they were like, don't really feel like doing that. Resorts started losing tourism and therefore money because people didn't want to stay in that area anymore. People didn't want to come down here if they thought that they were going to be attacked by a shark while going swimming. So then another supposed incident occurred at Asbury Avenue Beach in Asbury Park when a lifeguard named Ben Everingham claimed that he had to fight off a 12-foot-long shark with a boat oar.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's an aggressive claim.
Yeah. As a result, that beach was closed. 4th Avenue Beach in Asbury Park installed steel wire mesh fence around the swimming areas of the beach and had it patrolled by armed motorboats.
Jesus.
Yeah. I feel like it's a little dramatic.
Yeah, like,
but,
maybe.
like, what do I know?
Yeah. But that's because you and I always side with the animals.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, well, you're in there.
You're in the shark's water.
So nets were installed around public bathing beaches to prevent any marine life from kind of, like, sneaking on in there. Also on July 8th, a press conference was held to address the ever-growing fear in the community. It was stressed that bathers should stay close to shore, even though they thought it was unlikely that there was going to be another attack.
Okay. I don't think that's unreasonable.
Yeah. So, like, with the East Coast panicking, there started to be more, like, shark sightings. But I think it's because people...
Like the panic.
Yeah, like, now you're looking for something that has always been there, but you're seeing it more because, like, you're aware of it.
Right.
So... the shark would take its next victims within hours of each other. Not even within hours. Within minutes of each other. On July 12th in Matawan Creek in Matawan. Before the attacks, a sea captain had reported seeing an 8-foot-long shark in the creek, but nobody fucking did anything about it or seemed to care. Which was weird because they're all up in this panic, but then, like, one dude who's, like, familiar with the fucking ocean and, like, that area was like, I saw something, and they're just like,
it's fine.
It's fine. I also think that at this point, too, they weren't super familiar with, like, what sharks actually did.
Yeah, like the patterns.
Yeah, so, like, for them, it's like, well, they're in a creek. It's not, like, why are we worried
that's
about
what
that?
I was thinking, was that, like, what's it doing in a creek?
Yeah, so 11-year-old Lester Stowell was swimming in the creek with friends around 2 p.m. By the time they had spotted the fin, it was too late. He was dragged under by the shark.
Oh, my God.
So his friends, not knowing what to do, ran into town for help. Many of the townsfolk, including 20-year-old Stanley Fisher, jumped into the creek to find the boy. Fisher was actually able to retrieve his body, but in the process of bringing it back to shore, he was attacked. So he, like, let go of the body, and then nobody could find it, because, like, now they're panicking to try and save this guy who got bit. So the shark had bit into his right side, causing immense blood loss. He died a few hours later after being admitted to the hospital. Stillwell's body wouldn't be retrieved until July 14th, and it was found upstream from the area in which he was attacked. So something had, like, carried it up.
That's weird.
Yeah, which is really fucking freaky. The last attack would occur only a half an hour after Stillwell and Fisher. 14-year-old Joseph Dunn was in the water only about a half a mile from where, like, the double attack occurred. A shark ended up attacking his left leg, but he was able to be pulled out of the water by his brother and his friend, who said it was basically like tug-of-war with the shark.
Holy shit, did he survive?
Yeah, so he actually made a full recovery and was the only survivor of these attacks.
Wow.
So that was, like, the last, like, actual attack during this. So chaos and fear got so bad that the government stepped in. The House of Representatives allotted $5,000, which is $120,000 in today's money.
Wow.
To get rid of the sharks.
Damn.
So the Coast Guard had to, like, patrol shorelines. Local governments offered rewards to people who hunted them. According to Wikipedia, the East Coast shark hunt was described as the largest scale animal hunt in history.
Holy shit.
Because people were just, like, freaking out and didn't know what to do. The mayor of Matawan even offered $100, which is $2,300 in today's money, to anyone who killed a shark in the creek. Matawan residents went as far as to throw dynamite in the creek and also set up nets, but neither of those things worked.
Wow.
So that's fucking nuts to me.
Yeah,
like,
that's really bizarre to me. Because, again, like, what's it doing in the creek, first of all?
There's logic behind it.
Okay.
So there was a lot of debate going on during those 12 days as to what kind of shark was actually responsible for this.
Mm-hmm.
Witnesses of the first attack claimed that the shark was about 9 feet, which would match the report of that 8-foot shark being in the creek by that sea captain.
Yeah.
So that's roughly about the same size.
Yeah.
That man also claimed to have captured a sandbar shark near the mouth of the creek on July 18th, which is kind of, like, irrelevant at that point. But,
yeah.
Sandbar sharks aren't known for being aggressive.
I was going to say, they're not aggressive, right?
They're not. They're actually, like, relatively docile unless they're aggravated, which is why, and they're, like, that's why we see so many of them in aquariums, right, because they're so easy to just, like, maintain yeah. and, like, they're just
But they
docile.
do get pretty big, right?
They're big, yeah, for sure, but they're not, like, they're not going to come after you.
Okay.
Like, as I said, unless you're, like, fucking with it, for the most part, they're going to leave you alone.
They're not going to attack you.
Yeah, they really don't have any interest in humans.
No way are they going to kill this many people.
Yeah, and there's also never been a recorded attack by them.
Okay.
So what he saw was, like, unrelated. And then another man who saw the first attack claimed it was a Spanish shark, which sounds made up, but it's not made up. It looks kind of like a sandbar shark, but once again, not, like, aggressive.
Okay.
And they're not native to this area, so I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. So, on July 14th, the appropriately named Jersey man-eater was allegedly caught. Taxidermist and Barnum and Bailey lion tamer Michael Schleiser was fishing in the Raritan Bay, which is, I guess, like, the creek leads into the bay.
Okay.
I think. Or one or the other. When he came face to face with a 7.5-foot long shark, the shark attacked his boat, and he said that he basically had to beat it to death with an oar to get it to, like, stop attacking the boat. So, like, this
matches the claims of aggression.
Yes. So upon bringing the shark back to land, he sliced open the stomach, which revealed bones and possible human remains.
Oh, shit.
This was later confirmed by scientists who, like, studied that and said that it was definitely human remains.
Wow.
And that the shark was a young great white. So right after the shark was captured, all the attacks stopped, which led people to further believe that, like, this guy had actually caught
this was the one.
This was the legitimate one. But there's still debate even today if it was actually a great white shark or a bull shark, which are known for sneaking around in brackish freshwater creeks.
Okay.
There's also an argument as to whether or not there was only one shark involved or if it was, like, multiples.
Right.
In different areas, since they're kind of being reported everywhere, I think, due to everyone's hyper-awareness of them.
Yeah.
So, just, like, a couple quick facts on, like, the difference between great whites and bull sharks. So, great whites are really aggressive and are responsible for the largest number of unprovoked attacks on humans. Like children, great whites tend to test things with their mouths.
Okay.
So, like, they'll bite objects and people because that's how they're trying to figure out what it is.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's been found that they're actually unlikely to eat a human because we're too bony and taste strange. So it's more of, like, if they bite us, it's a test bite to figure out what we are.
Right.
They can't distinguish that, like, we're, like, a human.
Because they have very poor eyesight, right?
I don't know if it's, like, super poor. I don't think it's great.
Okay.
But it did say that bites usually occur in areas where their senses are impaired, such as water with low visibility.
Okay.
So if, like, they're claiming that they confirmed that this was a great white, I don't know how they tested it. I don't know how they confirmed that. I don't know if it was just an educated guess based off of, like, information that they had. Because it would be really unusual for that to go into, like, a creek like that.
Right.
Like, that's
to me, it makes more sense for it to be a bull shark if they're known to be in brackish waters.
Yeah. So, like, great whites, I don't think, can survive very long.
Right.
And
this thing got at least a half mile up the creek.
Yeah. So, like, it just doesn't make sense to me that that's what it is. If it's confirmed that that's what it is, then that's what it is. But, like, to me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
If it had, like, come through the bay, which also probably isn't the best visibility, and got, like, stuck there and made its way up there just because it was a path to follow.
Yeah.
Then maybe. But I don't understand why in the middle of the ocean it would be, like, just going after people.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So then bull sharks are also super aggressive. I love what I wrote about bull sharks, by the way. So I put, bull sharks are also super aggressive. However, the number of fucks given by them is actually less than that of the great white. They can live in both saltwater and freshwater and have no problem creeping along shallow rivers to try and fuck up someone's day.
All right.
They prefer shallow water, and so do humans, which is why there are so many attacks. So I think they're like third on the list of most likely to attack humans.
Okay.
So I think it's them, tiger sharks, and bull sharks. So, like, to me, it makes more sense that it was a bull shark, because this is what they do. Like, this is why I won't go in the bay. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And now I'm scared of rivers that empty out into the fucking ocean. But yeah, they, like, you know, they have, I'm sure they have poor eyesight, too. I mean, I think most sharks do, but they can sense things a little bit better. So, like, if they had come upon a child and thought it was a big fish, you know.
They might have attacked,
Yeah, because they didn't eat them. They just, you know, fucking bit them.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah, I mean, although they did find human remains in the stomach.
Yeah, but what if that was the shark that initially bit? Like, what if there was two different sharks? Is my theory. Like, the one that had come up the creek might have been a bull shark, while the one that had bit the two guys in the ocean was a great white.
That's an idea. Yeah, I'm also wondering if maybe there was like a neurologic component that was making it even more aggressive than it would usually be. Like maybe a parasite or something.
Maybe
that caused like extreme like volatility.
Maybe. I mean, they're just known for their aggressive nature anyway. Yeah. Literally, you don't have to do anything to set them off. They're just aggressive.
Yeah.
So, like, it wouldn't be unusual for them to attack a boat either, because they're seeing
that's what they do.
Yeah, like, and bull sharks in particular are super territorial. Okay. So, like, if there was one in the water, it just, these kids playing in it.
Right, would set it off.
Yeah, was the thing that set it off. And, like, it would make sense if it was the thing that basically killed the first two and then went upstream and bit the other kid.
Yeah.
Because it was probably on its way upstream anyway.
Right.
There's, like, a lot of theories that surround it, so it's super interesting. Because, as I said, like, I knew this stuff happened, but I didn't know, like, I didn't know the story of what actually went down that summer. But I was reading that we've seen, like, a population boom of great white sharks in our area, which is great because they were initially considered endangered. So now
probably
they're, like,
because we fucking hunted them all.
Well, yeah. Well, in Australia, I don't know if it's still going on, but they do, like, shark culling because their population is so high.
Okay.
But, like, I think their big thing, too, was they also brought down the population so much that, like, we needed to repopulate it. Because they were considered, like, almost endangered. They're not anymore, but they were. So, I don't know. It's a very interesting thing.
It's so weird that it's so isolated. Like, it happened, there were, like, several attacks one year, and then it was never recorded like that again. And it was never recorded like that prior.
Well, I mean, there were, like, other attacks that went on, like, in prior summers, but they are isolated incidents, you know?
Right.
Like, this might have been, for whatever reason, like, well, actually, because in the beginning, as I said, like, there was a massive heat wave and, like, polio was spreading throughout the United States. So, like, people just wanted to get away, and that was a vacation destination. Yeah. So, like, with this influx of people that come down to the shore, you're having more people that are out in the water. So, with that comes more danger, like, more dangers that they're exposed to because there's more people out there.
Right.
So, I think it's more of, like, just a matter of circumstance. So, like, while in later years there might not have been as many people out there, one, because of this, they were probably fucking scared.
Yeah.
And second, because, like, maybe those things had kind of resolved. So, like, while there were still vacation goers here, it wasn't nearly as much as it was, like, it used to be.
Yeah.
Although there's been quite a few attacks, like, over here, over the past couple years, which I did not realize.
Not so many, like, concentrated deaths in such a short time.
No.
You know? Like, I mean, you know, humans are naturally afraid of sharks. It's one of, like, the
I mean, I'm not going to fuck with one.
Right,
But I also respect that that's their territory.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like, you live there, I don't. I'm just visiting. Please don't bite me. That's all I ask.
Right.
Like, no, I am not a fish nor a seal.
Nope.
Like, you good. So, I don't know if you recently saw it, but, like, it's all over Facebook right now. It's, like, from all people that we know. That they recorded off of LBI a shark, like, group attacking a dolphin.
Really?
Yeah, there was an injured dolphin. I didn't watch the video of it, but, like, people were, like, so surprised. And I'm like, you know, that's what they fucking do, right? Yeah. Like, so apparently there was an injured dolphin, and then, like, a bunch of sharks kind of converged on it and, like, ripped it the fuck apart.
Oh.
Well, I mean, it was injured. Like, circle of life, you know? That's what they do.
Yeah.
So
I'd rather to hear that sharks are killing dolphins than people are killing dolphins.
Yeah. So that's, they saw a free meal and went for it.
Yeah.
They're scavengers. They'll literally eat anything.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of things that we found in sharks' bellies is, like, unbelievable. Which is why, like, I mean, I don't want people throwing trash in the ocean anyway because of other sea creatures, but, like, you can see just how bad it is by just looking inside a fucking shark's stomach.
Yeah.
Because they just will literally eat anything. They have no fucking qualms about it. They will fucking chew on your boat. They don't fucking give a shit.
Yeah.
They'll
like,
chew on your feet.
now.
They don't give a shit. Like, they don't like it, but they'll do it.
Right.
So, just that test bite. Got to test everything. Make sure that it's actually food.
Yep.
So, save the fucking sharks.
Yeah.
Don't get attacked by them, but save them.
Yeah, save the sharks. Don't kill them and don't let yourselves be eaten.
I think I read a statistic once that was like you're more likely to be killed by a falling coconut than you are a shark.
Yeah, there's a ton of statistics out there like that. I think like more people are killed on average per year by like falling refrigerators and cows.
I was gonna say, and cows, I
literally
think is one
fucking
of them.
anything before it is sharks.
Well, because most of them are just more scared of you than you are of them.
Right.
Like they're gonna leave you alone.
Right.
Unless
And
you're
most
over
of-
there like actively fucking with it.
Yeah, and most of the time we're not swimming like anywhere near their territory. Like unless you're swimming like hundreds of feet offshore,
Which
your
I'm
chances, God no, your chances of encountering a shark are pretty slim.
Well, I mean, some of them do like shallower water.
Yeah.
But like, I've heard stories, like I've had a friend who surfs tell me that like, when he's out there, he sees them all the time. But as long as you leave them alone, you're fine. He's like, because I'm like, I couldn't do that because I would panic. I would be so fucking scared. And he's like, you just don't do anything. He's like, you just go on with your day. You don't worry about it. And that's that. Like, just don't think about it.
Right.
Especially like in our waters, you can't see shit in there. Like,
This year you can. The ocean is very clear this year.
Is it?
I know because I went in it the other day.
What?
Mm-hmm.
When?
I went to the beach with my sister and Riley on Thursday.
You never go in the ocean.
I know, but it was pretty warm and I was in there for like 45 minutes.
What?
I know.
I want to go in the ocean with you. When we went, I'm sitting there like, oh my god, I'm fucking cooking. I'm like, please.
I wasn't going to stop you.
I'm not going by myself. You know what happens to people who go by themselves? Do you want to be the one that has to pull me out from a shark attack?
I'm not doing that either. I'm going to let the lifeguards do that.
You're gonna let me die out there? I know for a fact that if a shark was attacking you, I would run right in. I wouldn't even think about it. I'd be shit scared, like, afterward, but, like, I would run right in.
I don't know. I hope we're never in that position.
I mean, we won't ever be, but I fucking hope not. But yeah. As you said, sharks are cool, but I prefer that they do their own thing.
Yeah.
There's also, fun fact, sharks have, but great whites are so hard to keep in captivity because they won't fucking eat anything.
Really?
That's why aquariums don't have them.
Huh.
The only one that was able to actually do so, and it wasn't even for, like, a very long time, it was, like, maybe a year and a half, if that, maybe 2 years, was Monterey Bay Aquarium because they have that outdoor, like, exhibit thing. So they kept it out there, and there was... They did it for a couple years. They kept, like, changing out the sharks that they had in there, or changing out the great whites that they had in there. And it was only for, like, scientific purposes. Like, they did it to closely study them, and they, like, managed to get them to eat, but after that, they let them go.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What about bull sharks?
I think you have a lot of balls if you're gonna fucking capture a bull shark.
See, like, I'm so interested in them. Like, I would love to see a great white, like safely, but up close.
Doesn't maybe Baltimore Aquarium or Camden Aquarium does shark diving, or like they have the cage?
Yeah, but they don't have a great white.
I don't want to.
I don't want to be like in a cage near a great white. I want to see them through a really thick sheet of glass.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Exactly.
I mean, well, yeah, because they said Monterey Bay Aquarium isn't doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, they did it for a short period of time for science, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just not meant to be kept in... I mean, nothing is, but, like,
yeah.
they, that in particular. I don't know about bull sharks. I don't know if any aquarium has them. Probably not, due to how aggressive they are, because if they have to go in and feed them or do anything...
That was my question, was, like, how are they safely feeding this great white if they're that aggressive?
I don't know. I mean, there's been, like, a lot of debate, too, on, like... I mean, we've confirmed that they're fucking aggressive and will bite unprovoked. But, like, there are instances where, like, people have said, like, no, I'm able to, like, swim near them. It's fine. I haven't had any issue. Like, once again, if you leave it alone, it'll leave you alone. But
I'm not willing to take that risk.
yeah, like that's a big chance, and like, sorry,
Yeah.
not happening.
Yeah.
Like I'll just stay safely on land. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm over here playing, like, Endless Ocean, and, like, that's the only shark in the game that will attack you is a great white.
Dang.
And it's fucking terrifying, because they're always, like, over shipwrecks, and you're like, fuck, I gotta go get some treasure. And then they, like, come at you.
Oh my
and they'll,
God.
like, whip you with their tail. It's very scary, and I can only play during the day because I get very scared. I don't think there's any bull sharks in that game, so I can't tell you their behavior.
That's fair.
But I've lived with a great white in my game, so...
Oh.
God. So yeah, that's that. And as you said earlier, this is what inspired Jaws. So that's my book recommendation, Jaws.
Is that a book too?
Mm-hmm. That was originally a book.
Oh.
It's Jaws by Peter Benchley. Peter Benchley.
All right. Maybe I'll pick that up. I bet Lindsay would like to read that.
There's also another book that are specifically about this, and it's called 12 Days of Terror by Richard Fernicola. And he, like, did, like, a whole breakdown of
cool.
Everything that happened during those days. For a while, there wasn't even, like, a monument dedicated to it, because they didn't know how to memorialize it without being, like...
Like, what are we gonna do? Boy in a shark's mouth, like a shark with a leg.
I was gonna say
a
shark with a leg in its mouth. Like, well, yeah, they were like, how do we do this appropriately?
Yeah.
I think in Mattawan now there is like a plaque with
Okay.
like both of the guys' faces on it that just says like, this is what happened here. Beach Haven didn't do that shit. I don't know if Spring Lake did, but I can confirm that area in Beach Haven did not. Wanted's been there this entire time, and I've just fucking
like,
ignored it.
notice?
Because I'm over here like, I gotta get on the beach. Like, nope, nothing. So, yeah. Do you have any books or anything, or no?
No, not really.
You're killing me.
I know, I'm sorry. I've been, like, real into Veep.
Gotta start, like, just looking up books to go with it.
I know. I feel like I was thinking of one for one of these topics, but I don't remember. I lost it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's why I come in with these books that I've never read.
Thanks for holding me up.
You're welcome. All right, so obviously we'll be back next week like we usually are. Unless the world ends, which is entirely possible as well.
Yeah, you never know anymore.
No, I mean, we'll still do this even if it's like... It could be fucking raining fire from the sky.
Even if we're talking into rocks, we'll be still doing this.
Just a rock with googly eyes on
Yeah.
it. Cool. Well, see you next week.
Bye.